our guest of honor, because there will be a challenge of who will welcome him. I have no selected words for him. At the same time, Mayor has come. If I say Sekatwale welcome Mayor, you will start with Hadith. And by the time he comes up, you will have spoken whatever I had planned for you. So I take this honor to invite our Lord Mayor, who has done much. Mayor, some of these people are our parents, some of them are our imams. We have leaders. The first session was handing over of the Muslim Students Association, the old regime to the new regime. And this session is for the candidates of Senior 4 and Senior 6. As teachers, we did our level best. We have covered whatever was meant to be covered. We have guided, but we still believe that there is guidance they need. God will always prevail wherever. And we said a dua is very important, and we bring people who have selected words that God wants to listen to those ones, so that our students sit for the exams without any interference, answer questions well, and when the results are to come, everybody should be able to move to another level. Bwana Mayor, I should report that in Mbale City, University Link High School Mbale, we are one of the best performing schools, and these students are highly disciplined. That's why whenever you hear of police cases of students, you will never get a name from University Link, because we always cancel them. So my good students, can't you clap for yourself? And most of them are voters. So the leaders told me, we shall be very happy if we take photos when we are handing over our files in the presence of Mayor. So I request you, after the dua, with the guest of honor, you pause a bit. These are historical photos people want to take home. At one time they will say, I'm not easy. I was next to the mayor, I was next to the regional cause, I was next to Sekatwale, and myself, I'm also not small. So, Bwana Mayor, you are most welcome. Come and talk to your people.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Our dear guest, our county chef of our Twale, you allow me right on the protocol already observed, so that we can shorten the time a bit. I want to thank our chairperson, General Purpose at Council, but also the proprietor and one of our teachers. Now, you know, one of the indicators when we talk about discipline is the listening, and when one person is talking. So I don't want you to say what the principal has just said is not true. Therefore, we shall do that by observing some silence behind there. But I want to thank the students of this school, particularly University Link, for the behavior you have demonstrated so far around the city. By the time I came here, I was at Mbale CS. They're also having a handover of the Board of Governors. At the same time, the PTA members had also expired, and I think they were having elections today. And I told them that the school where we are is where my O-level certificate is. Therefore, when they question my issues of going to school, that's where I go and pick it. Meaning that our schools here can do quite very, very well. And we cannot undermine. Now, University Link is one of the schools that have just started. But you can see that in all our institutions, tertiary institutions, the students are there. But that is only happening because of the discipline we have exhibited so far. Because I told them Mbale says, when you find people fighting, students from Mbale says are normally few. Students from university are actually not there. There are only 2 schools where we are battling to ensure that that happened, and that one actually falls in the jurisdiction of the county chef. Unfortunately, our school, Nkomesis, sometimes has not demonstrated very good behaviors. So we need to rectify that. Say that at the end of the day, and by the way, Nkomesis is mine. If you want my A-level certificate, is in Nkomesis. And if you go there, you'll find that the person in this year who was the chairperson of Muslim students, I was the person. Wildlife club, I was the person. But I was also there as the deputy head prefect. But within that very school, it enabled me to go to Makerere on government sponsor. Why? Because of demonstrating seriousness, discipline, and concentrating on what has taken you there. And like today, we are here, you all know that if we are here, sitting here with the regional Kadi, and it's going to give us a dua, it's not something we can take lightly. But it will be unfortunate for you from today up to the day of sitting the paper, you are on dua and you have not opened your what? Your book. Be rest assured that definitely God might enable you to remember a few things, but some things will have done what? Disappeared. Because Allah helps the person who helps what? Himself. One time they gave me a story, and I want to recall it. That an old man, after a prayer in the mosque, I think he had a lot of issues on his head. He forgot a bike and went. When he was about to reach home, he realized he had forgotten the what? The motorbike at the premises. He went back and he got it. And because he got it, he entered and said, I must pray and thank God. He spent more hours again doing the same. By the time he got out, the bike wasn't there. Meaning that God had already done, protected, you've gotten it. Say Alhamdulillah. And then, but you don't want to tempt God all the time that God must do what? Therefore, for us here, we must read. After reading, we have several hours of what? Duas. It's not only stopping on this one. Wake up in the middle of the night or late, those wee hours, say something again small, appreciate God. Again, open your book and read something. You are preparing for exams. So where there is God and where there is your own energy, why would you not make it? Because we are saying that in all this we've done, that's why I said that I was in Nkomesis and I was in what? Mbale. These are ordinary schools. And we all know the foundation of Nkomesis. And I think at that time we were around 6 of us. Another friend of mine called Abdallah, there was another one and others. And they enabled us to do what? But we are doing what you are doing now. There is nothing new. The only new thing is that for all level, the syllabus has slightly changed. Actually, it has been made slightly easier. Because now your appraisal is right from senior 1 up to senior 4. For us, they would only do that in senior 4. And then when you join the senior 6, you know that your examinable area starts from senior 5. So it therefore means that you cannot say, let me abandon senior 5, then I'll start reading when I'm in senior 6. Of course, now for our senior 6 candidates, we know that now time is up. And we therefore must go and read. But as you read, it will be a grave mistake for you to say, I'm waiting to pray after exams have come back and I'm sure that I've passed. Because then God will know you have done what? Forgotten him. And that's why in the wisdom of our principle, he said to me, as Kassim, I'll come and talk, guide on the political path and also having gone through the same path. And then we are saying the assistant to the Mufti. We should have been here with our Imam because there are so many Imams here. We should have been here with our county chef, very well informed, but here with us start to the what? Then you know the importance to which we attach to religion. And meaning that if you cannot make those two things work, we are bagamba kweli amuzamanya oli kwebba gwe kenyini nti mukimanye tuli wano olw'okuba nti buli kye tukola kyonna tekye tukola nga tukulembeza dduwa ne mukulembeza dduwa tetulina kuva ku bino ate ebigenda okutuyamba Katonda agaye nti omuntu ono atobye nnyo fedda twasomanga n'ebigere nga tubiteese mu maaso that you don't get sleep. Of course, for now the situation may have improved. And you now have these gadgets, you can go and research on this, research on that, and you prepare yourself. For us, we are reading in a Chigisu way, Gafula, yes, like that, with the turnover. Of course, that is not long ago. But at the end of the day, we knew there is time for Subuhi, there is time for Dhuhuri. We knew at least as we will be there, we know Maghrib will be there, Isha will be there. Then there is a very, very special dua, but it's exception. It is up to you to either do it, observe it, or you don't. Around somewhere, I think around 2, 3, there to maybe 4. When sometimes it's only you who's up. Every other person is snoring. So if we do that, and we have opened our books, for sure, why would Allah forget you? And that is the only thing we did with our team, the likes of Watak Kemi and others. And we thank God that the late Dr. Galiwango guided us as well. They were the first people to push us through. There was now RDC Muruga. Those were some of our teachers. And we used to share all this. They would tell us all these things we are now sharing with you now that you're candidates. And they are the same things we use and observe. Sometimes when you are in O level and especially from senior 3 onwards up to when you're senior 4, senior 3 and senior 2 slightly, you will not even believe that the president can be above you because you are now growing. When you reach senior 6, the world is starting to now compact you. You are now preparing for the future. As you finish senior 6, the world now welcomes you. Now, how did you behave through your school days? Discipline is very critical. Networking with all the people you're sitting with here. I can tell you that all of us, all the assistants we get through all the networks are the people we related with at school. Now, how did they look at you when you were at school? Were you the kind of person and someone will meet you and say, oh, this is my colleague. We are together in all level. He has this problem. I should help. The networking is not necessarily that it has to be with only people up there, but within yourselves, you should have what we call the friends who are more meaningful to you. I was in Wairaka before I joined the Mbale CS, and we had a group of 10 boys. We looked slightly stubborn. By the time we reached senior 3, we had been left only 2 of us, and the rest had either gone on suspension or terminated. And people said, you people, do you practice witchcraft or what? So, but when you're my friend and you're smoking marijuana, I cannot smoke because you smoke. The issue of going that there's peer influence, there's no peer influence. It's because you might be having the behavior, but you don't have someone to push you to do it. So it doesn't mean that you terminate friends, but make friends that are meaningful and can add value and help you shape your future. We don't create enemies. We had friends who could drink, and some of them are Muslims. I have never even gotten a booze near my nose to see how it smells. But they were friends. So your behavior must be shaped by yourself. And the only way you can do that is when you adhere to religion. And when you adhere to it, you don't only read Arabic to grasp Arabic. Look for values within what? Religion. That's the most critical thing. And that's why people are saying that why do we have so many churches now, so many mosques and so on, but the behaviors have gone berserk? It is because we don't look for values within that. The most important thing, Even when the imam is here and the sheikh has told you something, apart from knowing the word, go and ask the value. Now, when you get the grasp the values, even if you are not good and fluent within the Arabic language, you will never go wrong. Be leaders, and we must demonstrate that right from school time. I will tell you that when I was in Wairaka, I was a house prefect. It was Lower Nile House. And by that time, I was in senior one. When I was in Makerere, they gave me so many others I rejected because they made me to be the chairperson of Obama Saba students in Mbale. And I think it was my regime at Makerere that we secured around 12 bursaries from the state council here. By that time, municipality, I think LC5 was, I think, Peke. We came and we said, we want this with another friend of mine called Watua Anthony. He's now a lecturer at UCU. And we secured, and since we secured and left Makerere, nobody else got them. But we knew on how to get them, the approach, the behavior, and how you relate with the leaders. We were able to do that. I think at Makerere, they gave me again to be the speaker of some of the students coming from the mountains affected by disaster. We ran with it. When I was in one of the houses there, I think we were there with the likes of Magogo, this guy from Butambala, the MP from Butambala, the likes of the vice chairperson treasurer at NRM secretariat, Namayanja, and so on. I was elected one of the household bosses within our house there in Makerere. So all these were demonstrated because the guys we had moved with from school, they would recall all my behaviors right from O level, A level up to today. And that is what you ought to have. That to prepare yourself as someone who's going to be a leader tomorrow. Get know that there are people who will always analyze and give reference on how you used to behave. I worked in the most risky institution that handles money. And by the time I left, nobody calls me that there is a check that we can't locate. They instead only called me to go and offer consultants for their management teams. So therefore, you build your own career, and wherever you go, you must leave a legacy. I can tell you that I can't go to Kenya and now get stranded. Because the most guys there, we worked with them when I was there. And they still recall how I worked. And therefore, up to today, I once in a while go to Kenya and make some consultancy. And they give me some return. And that's why I've not been able to still cancel things. Because I can survive elsewhere. Despite the limited resource, council give us. But why? Because of the networking, the name you leave behind, the people you relate with, they make reference on you. And therefore you come, other people will make that. You will never talk about yourself. If you're bad, even if you talk about yourself 100 times, the good things that you do should be the ones to talk for you. And therefore it's the legacy we talk about. That work aiming at leaving a legacy, read and guide the others. Do not read only aiming at how to go and steal. Do not go and call parents' fees. And then tomorrow they say, there are people when we are graduating, others didn't graduate. Why? They had eaten the money. And you know how these parents get the money. For us, I think we are lucky. For 1 year when I was in O-level, and this is what I keep saying, people talk about free education. We enjoyed it. In O-level, because our parents had died long ago, I was reading free as an orphan. Until somewhere when it reached, that was introduced. The ones who are older than us, like my sheikh, for them, free education started from senior 5 up to Makerere. And at Makerere, they would actually pay you for being there. These have now since what? Ceased. Now the parents go through very serious pain to meet your fees obligations. Now, tell me if you have eaten and you have not paid and you have been here disappointed, how the parent will feel. And we keep saying that it's not only that when you go through the school system, you must go and work in an office. No. You go through the school system for you to be able to be empowered and go out there and work without someone intimidating you. You should be here to go to Japan and make a journey and come back without someone helping you. That is the essence of us being what? Going through the school system. So you don't get discouraged because someone else has not done it. Then you say from my village, I have seen this. No. You can be, and it's not always good to imagine that, you see, when I come in this kind of background, I think for us that is how we are. No. You can be the turning point for all that entire clan and that area, or even this region as a person. So therefore, for you having to mature, don't say until I marry or until I get married. Maturity starts from the time you go to school. Even in the pure day, so no man yakula ata. Tekitegeeza nti wakula kuba wakoze eki. Naye ng'ebikolwa byo biraga nti this person can be trusted, can be mature, and they keep noting you. So n'olwekyo olunaku luno olwaleero tuzze okuba nga tusabira wamu, tubaako kye twogera ku bigenda mu maaso, nti ffenna tuve wano nga tumanye nti si gwasoose mu nkola eno naye otya wogenda okutambula. So therefore, I want to thank the teachers for this school. At least all along they have been doing a great job. But I also want to thank you students that you're here, and that means you have concentrated, you paid attention to your books. We are now moving towards the climax, and it's not the end. And again, we must have this in mind. Sometimes you can do exams. When you make one error, unfortunately, in an exam, you can easily lose out. But I can assure you that that is not the end of everything. I think when I sat my A level first time, I got an A in economics, and I got a disappointing O in one of the subjects. And I ended up with around 10 or 11 points. I was called to go and do a higher course in marketing in Aduku on government. I didn't go. I remember I told my late brother that I want to go for what? For a bachelor's. So he said, if you're going for a bachelor's, they have given you a government sponsor, then the fees we shall share. I said, it's okay. Gave me half of the fees. I went and sat with Dr. Garanga. I said, I'm not going to look for a diploma. I want to go for a what? He said, okay, you come. And that is when we did. I paid my fees after we've done the exams. Results came, and I moved up to around 20 points. I went for the course I wanted, and government still sponsored me. So it is you sometimes who can determine your own, and if you have the determination, there is nothing that can fail. I had an opportunity to join on even private sponsorship, but I said no. I think I will struggle. So I said, let me first struggle here and see what if it fails there, I still have this one, I can use it. So just be determined and know that if anything comes and has not come the way you thought, it's not the end of everything. You can shape yourself and take the direction you still want in life. And I think for me that is very important. So njagala kwebaza abazadde nti tuwaddeyo. Mpako ngambye abokumbale CS. I visited the Mbarara one time. Ne tugenda paka Ruhame, ne tugenda ne tutambula. Era twalidde libalete nge tulambula amasomero. Naye wano ekimu kye tuli okukola, kye tulina okwekuba ku mutima kiri kimu. Nti ffe abazadde wali slogan egamba nti gavumenti asasula buli kimu. Tetwagala kumanya omwana wabeera ku ssomero, njagala kumulaba nga amaze. Naye ng'ekituufu kiri nti in Western Uganda, parents contribute something to motivate the teachers and also push them for extra what? Learning. Now, as we talk, when you compare comparison of even Bushenyi performance and Mbali and other areas now, it's so poor. For example, so go to Tulimu City and you get the grade sometimes we get. Why? Because there, the parents never surrender. At least we would say, please, abantu mubagoba. Na ye, omuzadde alabika yola omwana akola atya. And I think this is what I've seen severally here. Principal atakungamba abazadde bagenda kulaba abaana kanjire. So that personal relation, kuba omwana ajja kubanga alabirwa omuzadde n'omusomesa. Newe tugamba nze nkuteeseyo kati ebisigaye tusaaga akumanya. At the end of the day, we are going to blame the teachers, but when at the end of the day, we're also playing a role in not modeling our kids. And there will be no any other time. This is the time. So to say, akatinike tuwayako, abaana batugobere balikola batya tuba following because people need guidance. And even as the musajja mukuru ne wali ongea ne mama napa guidance at this level of mine, I still get guidance from her as a parent. Wali kyagamba n'otokiddamu so n'okitegeeza naffe wano abantu tusobola kubalekerera nti abasomesa be banaamanya HM y'anaamanya buli kimu y'anaakola ki. I want to appreciate, I want to thank the student leaders, the organizers who invited me to be part of this very, very important function. And it will be still in my prayer that we maintain the good results, and anything coming contrary, we still appreciate.
Brought the students together, the parents present, and the teaching staff. On the same note, I want to take this opportunity to appreciate the Muslim leaders that have always guided the fellow students in terms of discipline and other aspects in related to life and academics. On the same note, I want to appreciate the management of University Link High School. They have always made it a routine that whenever the learners are nearing their end of senior 4 cycle learning, they always organize a unanimous prayer like the way you are seeing the function. This function is purely funded by the school management that is headed by the principal. So we thank you in his absentia. We thank him for championing this. On the same note, I want to be very brief. I want to appreciate the teaching staff. The teaching staff that is headed by the head teacher, Mr. Kagwe Muhammad. They have really played a very vital role. Our invited guests present, plus the parents. I want to assure you, I am sure that these teachers that you have seen that are handling or have been handling candidates, that is 4 and 11, they have done what it takes to make sure that University Link is going to appear on the national map according to the new curriculum for passing higher. I want to take this honor to appreciate the teachers for sacrificing the resources. This includes time, money, and other, that to make sure that you blend these learners, that they do the best in the forthcoming exam. Dear visitors, in the presence of the chairman PTA, plus our parents present, we are really very happy. In particular, I am very happy for honoring the invitation. Therefore, without wasting much time, I want to tell you that these learners, that they are ready to answer or to sit for this forthcoming exam. Now, as I conclude, with the interest of time, my point of advice to the learners, you must know that education is a cycle. Education is a cycle, which means it calls some of the aspects like discipline and hard working. You have been hard-working students. You were hard-working, that's why you managed to cross from primary up to senior one, up to O level. That now you're going to sit for senior 4 and senior 6. I want to call upon you again. Don't lose focus. Continue with that composure and tranquility. We see that in this forthcoming exam, that pushes you to another cycle. We see you either crossing to A level, we see you joining a vocational institute, or doing something valuable. I therefore also want to advise the students that please, discipline, they always say discipline is a key if you want to succeed. I want to call upon you that from now up to your last paper of UNEP, continue exhibiting the highest level of discipline. Should you become indisciplined, automatically you would have wasted, either they will counsel you, then you would have wasted the time from senior 1 up to senior 4. I don't have much, or it has not been my day to speak.
Njagala Rolex mpaemu nawe mpaemu.
Tuli Energy tukuletedde gas omulungi osika chipusi chapati mberenge oboli wa hotel usange ichengera opposite ku Lukadde ku Masaka Road. Essimu 0753955994 oba 07563313 Tuli Energy is your answer.